Shane Gillis, live on stage.
I'm a bit of a history buff, which, by the way, that is early onset Republican.
His biggest tour ever is coming to Des Moines.
You're a white dude in your 20s and 30s, and you're like, I can't stop reading about World War II. It's coming, brother.
See Shane Gillis with his unmistakable comedic style. Live at Wells Fargo Arena Saturday, May 31st. Get tickets now at iowaeventcenter.com. For more, visit ShaneMGillis.com.
Spring has sprung in the great state of Iowa, and if you've been thinking about getting outdoors with your family during the best time of year, we want to help you here at Plaza RV. We are a locally owned RV dealer in Bondurant who cares about our customers before, during, and most importantly, after your purchase. Give us a chance. We will treat you like family. Buy local. Buy from Plaza RV.
Join us for the Murph and Andy Patio Tour every Friday, continuing this week at Confluence Brewing Company on Thomas Beck Road in Des Moines. Good things come together at Confluence, like Murph and Andy, Friday afternoon, an awesome patio, and the best beer in the city. It starts at 1 this Friday at the Confluence Brewing Tap Room with Murph and Andy and Iowa Everywhere.
Murph and Andy, proudly presented by Ramsey Subaru, live and on demand across Iowa everywhere. From the Channel Seed Studios, this is Murph and Andy. Murph and Andy, connected by cellular advantage.
Welcome to a Wednesday on Murph and Andy. Andy, the over-under college football win totals are in from circa Iowa State, Iowa, Nebraska, all 7.5.
Sounds about right. Haven't even looked at the schedule, but yeah.
All 7.5.
Sounds about right.
Also, big news today, HBO Max, which became Max, is going back to HBO Max.
Which makes sense because Max didn't stick. There are too many Maxes.
And HBO was such a known brand, and Max, which was half of Cinemax, Max means many different things to many different people. But think of the money that has probably changed hands in the marketing and advertising group and focus group. They have probably spent $1 million to go, let's go back to HBO Max. That seemed to work better.
It's like the house across the street from me. The owners, when they put it up for sale, they ripped out all the carpeting, replaced it with new carpeting. The guy bought it in November, ripped out all the carpeting, put in new carpeting. And then just last week, I guess the new carpeting didn't go in correctly. So he didn't pay the carpet guy. So the carpet guy came over and ripped out all the new carpeting. Nobody had even stepped on it yet. The guy hadn't even moved in yet.
Just to be
so
clear,
now it's on his third round of new carpeting.
This is not you. This guy is not
this
you.
This is not me.
You're not
No.
This guy, we'll call him Jim.
Yeah, no, this is the house across the street.
Okay.
The guy he bought it in November. He's been working on it ever since. He hasn't moved in yet. I don't even know what it looks like yet, but I know he's gone through 3 rounds of carpeting. I mean, he's on his 3rd round of new carpeting, and he has not lived there yet. But yeah, I mean, they created marketing material. They were hammering that. They were like, not HBO Max, not
Max.
HBO Max,
Just Max.
And it didn't take, and wisely they're going to, just what, like HBO Plus, HBO app, don't have to make it more complicated than it is. I mean, that's all it is. It's like, it's an HBO app where you can get everything.
Right.
Plus a couple of extra things.
Yeah. Everybody knows HBO. Max can mean a bunch of different things to a bunch of different people. Remember when Radio Shack rebranded as Shack? That happened for a while. Kentucky Fried Chicken is still KFC. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that was
because
due to the
fried
grease.
Means fatty. Yeah. It's not that they've changed their methods, but they think that if they change the wording, it somehow becomes healthier.
The Chiefs will play the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. If you thought, God, it just seems like all I'm seeing are the Chiefs. Get ready for more Chiefs, because the Chiefs will play the Cowboys on Thanksgiving in a game that is almost certain to break some kind of regular season ratings record. I mean, the Chiefs are now the top draw in the NFL.
No, I think you got that wrong, though. They're playing on Christmas.
The Chiefs are playing on Christmas also.
Both?
Both.
Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Correct. They want to play on Christmas, and they are playing the Cowboys, who, along with the Lions, always play on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
They're playing the Chiefs on CBS. Oh, they already have the time. 3:30 Iowa time, Central Time, CBS, Chiefs and Cowboys. That'll be a nice number. Also today we learned, it's been rumored for a long time, but the Chargers and Chiefs from Brazil to open the regular season, that will be only available on YouTube. So it's going to be a YouTube exclusive. Yeah.
The YouTube TV, right? Not regular YouTube that you can get without paying. Is it YouTube TV?
It's a good question.
I don't know the answer to that, but it seems
YouTube
like
has become so powerful, it could be just the YouTube, like many people are watching and listening to us on YouTube right now. Not sure about that. But if
you think the NFL might look at YouTube and be like, "Ooh, man, we gotta be in business with this.
This is our chance.
Yeah.
It's our chance to break through. The NFL, if you wanted to see every game, and no one does, so it doesn't really matter, but these are the networks you would have to watch every game. ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC, ESPN, ESPN Plus, YouTube, Peacock, Netflix, Amazon Prime, and the NFL Network. That's how much the NFL has just conquered the streaming and broadcasting world.
I feel like I remember a time where it was only ABC and CBS that had the NFL. Do you remember a time when only one network had the NFL?
No, but there was, for a long time it was NBC and CBS, and then it became CBS and Fox because NBC lost the rights and then bought back in with Sunday Night Football.
Right.
Yeah, it's...
Well, for a long time, Fox had the NFC and CBS had the AFC, and then ABC had Monday Night Football. But that was, I feel like it was that way for a long time. But I do remember a time, I believe, when just ABC and CBS did the games and not. I feel like I remember a time where there were just two networks doing it.
Plus Monday Night Football, right? Or you're counting Monday Night Football?
I think I'm counting Monday Night Football. I think maybe
because ABC, were different times.
Brent Musburger was ABC, right? The NFL Today, or was that
CBS?
CBS. Okay, because NFL Today was CBS.
You're looking live. Yeah, that was CBS.
Maybe it was three networks then. It was far less than we have now.
Herky the Cat says it is free, the game, the Chiefs on YouTube. So not YouTube TV, but the YouTube where many are watching us. Guest House Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines sets the table for today's sports and more. Coming up, banned for life. Next question, Angel. Great, but not again. That's with Mr. Movie. All coming up from Guest House Tavern, Northwoods Inspired Midwestern Hospitality, and part of this year's Murph and Andy Patio Tour from Iowa Everywhere. Right now, high or low since the last show.
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
Yeah, you can find them online at Wealth Charter Retirement Planning or wealthcharterretirement.com. You can talk to Tim Hawkins up there just by picking up the phone. Google search him. It'll be worth your time. I feel like a real stick in the mud here for continually going low right now when the weather is so
You have
amazing.
had a streak of lows.
Man, I'm getting worn out. First world problems. We're getting new carpet, and it's a chore. And I feel it's not that bad. Ben, the guy that's putting it all in, I feel really bad for him. That's his job. That's what he has to do all the time. We just have to make it through, another week or two.
Plus, he has to hear you bitch.
Yeah, well, I think he kind of enjoys it. He listens. He's having fun with it. But so. Like I said, the carpet isn't even finished yet, but Lewis has already taken a shit on it. He did it today. But it did give
just
us
for anyone who doesn't know, Lewis is a dog.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Lewis is turning 1 this week too, and we were hoping that he would have outgrown this, but he doesn't usually come upstairs. He's not allowed upstairs because he's proven he's not ready. And today he did not give us a vote of confidence in his favor, but it did give us a chance to talk with Ben Taylor, who is from Carpet Direct, by the way. They don't advertise with us. He knows everything about carpet, but he told us, gave us like some good tips on removing pet stains from carpet. So he says, like, don't just save your money on the Resolve and the Nature's Miracle and stuff like that, unless it's just horrible.
Nature's Miracle.
Yeah, I've got some of that. I've bought that stuff for years. But anyway, just take a spray bottle, put like a drop or two of Dawn dish detergent in the spray bottle, and then fill it with the hottest water you can get. Like even if it's like almost boiling water. Shake it up, spray it immediately, and then immediately wipe it clean. Don't saturate the carpet with liquid. You can clean it right away with just the hot water and the Dawn. It'll loosen up the particles, and you can pull it right out of there. That's what he said to do. Don't use the others. Don't leave it on there for 5 minutes, but you can Google search the Carpet and Rug Institute.
Really?
That's some insider stuff. Carpet and Rug Institute and I actually did spend a little time on that website. You can find out all kinds of information on maintaining your flooring.
AD, when you rejoined Murph and Andy after some time away, did you expect to one day get insider tips on cleaning pet stains on the carpet?
Actually, that's exactly what I expected. Yeah.
Well, you always get a little more with us.
Yeah. Sports and more.
Right.
There you go. There's an example. I'm going high, and my high, speaking of brands who had a disaster, Coca-Cola, which tried the new Coke. But I do not understand their campaign of share a Coke with somebody. Like, I don't get it, but I did see in the Peacock Lounge at WHO 13, I did see a bottle of Diet Coke there with the name John on it. So I thought, I'll get that for John, $2 on me. I walked it into him, and Andy, it's the happiest I've seen John.
Well, you don't understand this marketing campaign?
What am I supposed to buy one with Keith on the label, or
yes,
am I supposed? And then
absolutely.
But then, how am I sharing a drink with Keith?
You give it to your friend Keith.
But what? But I don't have a friend Keith. Keith.
Well, then don't buy it. You're supposed to. Otherwise, you weren't buying a Coke, right? But you see one with your buddy's name on it, or your wife, or whatever. Suddenly you buy the Coke.
So I've executed this properly by seeing a bottle that says John, bringing it to John, seeing the big smile on his face, and saying, John, I thought I'd share a Coke with you.
Yep. Or
that's the right way.
Now this is America, okay?
Yeah, right.
We know how we are.
Mm-hmm.
If you see one with your name on it, you're supposed to buy that too, because we like things with our own name on it.
I'm not hopeful to see a lot of Keith's not that common a name.
Let me tell you something. I saw a social media post by my friend Asim the other day. He's Bosnian. He was holding a bottle of Coke that said Asim on the side.
Whoa.
ASIM. Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Apparently that's a popular name in Bosnia.
Okay. John, still a popular name. Have you looked?
Very popular.
Did you check and see Andrew?
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's probably both of those out there.
But I've done this right.
According to Coke, you did.
Okay.
You bought their product.
Look at John. Look how happy
when
he looks.
Weren't going,
Have you seen him look this happy?
Look at that. Yeah, he's probably never seen his name on something other than everything.
That's awesome. He's just a kid again. Let's get the buzz here on a Wednesday.
The Buzz. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
All right, the buzz. Tyrese Haliburton leads the Pacers to the conference finals again. Reminder, again, there last year, 4-1 over the number 1 seed Cavs, which was kind of the pick for this series, only with the Cavs winning 4-1. So the Pacers just steamrolled the Cavs, who were banged up, but still the Pacers look like the better team. Haliburton, 31 points, 8 assists in this game. Again, underrated. LeBron James was tweeting last night about how stupid anybody must feel who voted Haliburton the most overrated player in the NBA, and should get the Knicks next, because the Knicks are up 3-1 and the Celtics have lost Jason Tatum to an Achilles tear, not just for the rest of this series and season and playoffs, but probably all of next season too.
Yeah, that's a tough to rebound from that. But and who I like the idea of a Knicks Pacers Eastern Conference Finals while Reggie Miller and Spike Lee are still with us.
Right. They'll go back at it again.
They'll have fun with that. That'll be interesting. But boy, Iowa State looks smart right now, hanging that Haliburton banner up in the rafters at Hilton Coliseum when they did. You got in. I feel like ahead of the rush. You re-ingratiate yourself with the guy that, I mean, it's pretty much inarguable at this point, right? He's your best NBA player that's come out of your school. He's played at your school.
Now, Jim Brinson said we're forgetting Hornacek.
Okay.
But Haliburton has done some
I don't remember.
things.
Jeff Hornacek was a good player. He didn't lead the Jazz.
He was an all-star.
He was the third best player on the Jazz teams.
But he wasn't an Olympic gold medalist. He wasn't all NBA.
Don't forget about Jeff Hornacek.
I can't. Yeah, that's how I read it too. I read it. Have you forgotten Jeff Hornacek?
Let me tell you. Do you want to know? Here's something you don't. All right. Jeff Hornacek. There's one thing that I was going to say, and if I'm going to talk about, and if the topic is Jeff Hornacek.
Yes, it is.
I missed Brinson. He
Jimmy
was funny
B.
every day.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Ken Miller just like, oh God.
Tell a story about dropping a deuce in Wilt Chamberlain's gold-plated
toilet. Oh God,
toilet.
Jim, shut up. We've heard that story so many times.
Yeah. If I had $1 for every person who's told me a story about dropping a deuce in Wilt Chamberlain's gold-plated toilet. Andy, have you ever noticed Tyrese Haliburton has two voices? Because he knows it.
Does he have a falsetto?
Let's listen to a sample.
I'll answer your question. My bad. I don't know what's going on up here. But to answer your question, I think as professional athletes, we're human beings at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So
I think what you put off surface level is different than, we're all humans. We all have emotions and good days and bad days.
Whoa. He's not going to the falsetto. That just shape shifted.
Yeah. And he does it all the time. And it took Cade pointing it out to me. And now I notice it all the time.
There was a
Pat
clip we
McAfee
played just like a week or two ago. Yeah. A post game. And
you noticed?
I was like, what's going on with his voice? And yeah, he switches voices. I don't think he does it consciously. It just happens.
No, Pat McAfee stopped him in the middle of an interview and said, dude, you have two voices. And he said, yeah, I know. And he knows. He gets told this all the time.
Yeah.
I don't think I know anyone who shift. Can you play it one more time? Because it's now that you know what's coming, anybody who hasn't noticed before, listen to how drastic the shift is.
I'll answer your question. My bad. I don't know what's going on up here. But to answer your question, I think as professional athletes, we're human beings at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So
I think what you put off surface level is different than, we're all humans. We all have emotions and good days and bad days.
Yeah, it sounds like the recording changed.
It's just like he threw it into another gear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a little higher, but it's also a little clearer. But he didn't clear his throat before it happened.
Excuse me.
Stopped.
The second one doesn't sound like the way I hear Haliburton in my head. He starts out the way I think of Tyrese Haliburton talking, and then it shifts to somebody else there for a moment.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But he knows that.
He knows that. Yep. It's been pointed out to
You have
him
some of those
before.
people like Williams, every now and then their voice will crack.
Yeah, that happens to me from time to time. Nikola Jokic, the best active basketball player on the planet, put on an iconic performance in a loss last night, but he did all he could. Mm-hmm. His team looked gassed, especially in the fourth quarter. 44 points, 15 rebounds, an insane pirouetting wrong-footed three at crunch time that tied the game up. But Oklahoma City, to its credit, and with an MVP. SGA is going to win it this year. It will go on to win 112-105. So that series is at 3-2.
Yeah, Oklahoma City looks like the best team in the NBA right now. Go back to that picture. I'm always blown away by how small the basketball looks when it's like anywhere near Jokic, especially in his hands.
We lose scale too. He's a big man.
That looks like it looks like a big grapefruit. He's just throwing around. He's so big.
He dominated in all ways that you can and wasn't enough to get the win. Tanking has come up because the Mavericks got the number 1 pick. Now, I'm not a conspiracist, but a lot happened that added fuel to those who are. I mean, think of all that happened. Okay, first of all, you have this trade that makes no sense where the GM of the Mavericks did not even put Luka Doncic out there for the best offer. Just makes this out of nowhere trade with the Lakers a huge market for the NBA, maybe the most important market for the NBA. He goes there for Anthony Davis. The trade makes no sense. It's called, the dumbest trade in the history of the NBA. And then even before this happens, even before the lottery draft happens, there are a bunch of people that say, if the Mavericks get the number 1 pick, we'll know that this deal has been in place the whole time. Hey, you trade Luka to the LA market. We'll take care of you with the lottery. Your season's not going anywhere. We'll get you Cooper Flag. He'll be even more popular, which I doubt, but that's what they think. I don't know. I don't buy the conspiracy, but I understand why people are fascinated.
Yeah, it is strange how these teams with seemingly no shot at getting the top pick have gotten the top pick a number of times. They're supposed to have no shot. What was Dallas's percent? 1.8.
1.8. And the Spurs finished second. Spurs got the second pick.
That's almost zero. Now, in their defense, the team with the highest percentage, which this time was Utah, right? What do they have? 14 something percent. It wasn't real. Mm-hmm. They didn't have a 90% chance of getting it, and they didn't. Their percentages are pretty low too.
They've changed it to discourage tanking so that you don't improve your chances that much. And I think it kind of does. It does work in that way. Like if the best you can do is 14 or 15%, that's not worth tanking your whole season for.
Not your whole season, maybe the last few games and that, but it depends on who that pick is. But yeah, if you tank and it's kind of clear you're tanking, and then you don't get the first pick, or worse still, you're outside the top 5 or something. You look terrible.
Mike Greenberg has said the NFL should do this because it does kind of discourage tanking. So let's get a quickie poll, AD, from WCI Pools and Spas.
Should the NFL go to a draft lottery for the worst teams to discourage tanking? Yes or no?
I don't feel like this is a problem in the NFL.
I agree. I want to say yes because tanking sucks. It's the most insulting thing you can generally do to a fan base, although sometimes there are circumstances where the fans understand it, even as they pay to watch a bad team down the stretch. But yeah, I think because of the number of games in the NFL, this just doesn't really seem like that big of a problem. And sometimes you have a situation like the Patriots where they went out and won a game late in the season that slid them down the draft board, but they weren't out there tanking.
Yeah. Fans naturally shift into that mindset when it's clear that their team has a real bad season at hand, and they start thinking about the draft. The fans start thinking about the draft and who you can pick. But there are just so few games that you got to have a really bad losing streak to start the season to really truly feel Like there's no way you can turn it around. And some of these guys are, I mean, they're coaching and general managing for their jobs. So they don't want to tank. These players are still competitive. It takes a lot. You really got to get a lot of people on board together to tank a season, no matter what the sport is.
And the most common way, and it's easier to do, of course, with smaller numbers, it's just to assemble a team that no matter how hard it plays is just really not going to win. I mean, that does happen in Major League Baseball. It certainly happens in the NBA. It's not that the guys are trying, and I think that gets mistaken sometimes. Oh, the players aren't trying to lose. They're competitive. They're professionals. No, they're not trying to lose. But sometimes they're put in a position where all they can do is lose. One of the other things that jumped out, go ahead, AD, jump in. The Lakers are your team.
Aaron on Twitter made a good point too, that like the first pick in the NFL, while sometimes it is a huge pick, it typically doesn't have, it's certainly not that first year impact on a team the way it does in the NBA. You can get a superstar that changes your franchise in the NBA. Yeah. You can get that in the NFL. It's less certain, and with 7 rounds, it kind of feels like it's not broken, don't fix it.
That's five players in the NBA, right. and 11 per side of the ball in the NFL. So it is harder. You can make a gigantic difference, but I mean, it also, after the first few picks, those chances of that player really making a giant impact the first year, they drop way off in the NBA also. But I think the NFL system is okay, and it is inherently the fair thing to do. I mean, that's what the NFL has banked itself on is the fact that it takes care of its worst franchises, sometimes almost unfairly. I mean, these franchises that should have to try harder and, hire better people, they're propped up by the, just the gigantic swell of the NFL as a whole. But I mean, one of the ways that does that, and obviously sharing the revenue, but also giving that worst team the best draft pick, or at least the opportunity to make the best draft pick the following year. And, that's something that where you look at college football, it seems like it's even more unfair, right? I mean, because, Alabama doesn't get the last pick in the draft every year. They get the first.
Interact on YouTube. You can email Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com. On X, it's Murph_Andy as well. And it is all powered by Cellular Advantage with 35 regional locations. Proud partner with U.S. Cellular since 1993. Some more hot topics. Major League Baseball and Commissioner Rob Manfred have reinstated Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson, and all of the Black Sox from the 1919 Fixed World Series. Not surprised, I guess, by this. Manfred basically is saying, Andy, something we talked about a couple of times when this has come up, is the ban of permanent ineligibility, is that a lifetime ban, or is permanent ineligibility mean forever, in perpetuity? And Manfred has said previously it has been permanent forever, even after death, but now the punishment ends at death. So Pete Rose and the Black Sox are eligible, Shoeless Joe Jackson in particular, to get into the Hall of Fame on their baseball credentials now, but it's no lock that they get in.
No, and I was trying to think what is a more personal, not insult, but just a more personal strike, right? When baseball says you are banned until you're dead, or until you are rotting in the ground, that is when we will consider letting you in. Or is it worse to say, not only are you banned, your great-grandchildren are banned also from seeing you in the Hall of Fame. No one related to you now or from here on will ever get to see anything Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. I mean, that's like the mafia hit guy that's just like, I'm going to take out, you, your kids, your grandkids, your dog, burn your house down, like everything. Or if it's just like, so person's just focused on you, but this is so about you that when you're dead, we're all good.
I think it might be worse to have it lifted when you die. Because this is kind of what Pete Rose
that's the only time it means
constantly.
something to you.
Yeah, Rose said, I'm going to die, they're going to lift the ban, and then I'm going to be voted into the Hall of Fame, and I don't want that. I want to know I'm in while I'm still alive, and that's not going to happen. He died in September. I don't think it's going to happen. Well, first of all, it's not going to happen right away because the baseball era committee doesn't even meet until December of 2027. That's 2.5 years away before the 16-member committee even votes. But these guys take their role really seriously, and he'll need 12 out of 16 votes. I don't think it's a lock that he gets in right away. I mean, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, they're eligible for the Hall of Fame right now. They're not even close to being in. Mm-hmm. So I don't know that it means he'll get in, but I know Pete Rose's family cares, but he didn't care if it happened after he died. He wanted in while he was still alive.
Yeah, and now he's definitely dead. I
confirmed.
I don't
definitely dead.
I don't know how big an olive branch this actually is. It is kind of funny though, just to hear the lifetime ban like laid out specifically. This is a lifetime ban. When that life is out of time, then the lifetime ban is done.
I'm sorry, I don't quite understand. Could you clear it up even more? Could you be
are
more
you
specific?
drawing breath right now? Are you retaining heat?
Yes, I am.
Okay, then you're banned.
All right, what about...
Are you cold to the touch, and is there a rotting smell about you?
No.
Okay, then when you can come in.
Okay, what about when I die?
When you die or after you've died?
After I'm dead. Okay. Am I still banned?
After the funeral and you're underground and we are talking about you in past tense, then yes.
Am I eligible then?
Then you're eligible.
Can I attend the ceremony?
I mean, it's because it's right. I mean, you're right. It's like a lifetime ban just is really all you need, right? I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you know, the Black Sox, what they did was horrible. That's
fixed
terrible.
a World Series.
Yes, it was awful. And Shoeless Joe Jackson was a part of that. And Pete Rose could have fixed this himself. I still firmly believe that if he had admitted to this earlier and apologized and just been more sincere in all of that, I think that he would have gotten into the Hall of Fame. I think they would have
He's
done
been his
that.
own worst enemy.
Yes, he has. Yeah, and so it's hard to feel any sympathy, but I don't know. I mean, it's now the guy's dead. So, you know, it's just like,
it's a museum. I have kind of moved into the space of not taking it as seriously as I did in my younger years and when I was a kid. I mean, if Pete Rose is on there, warts and all, baseball's all-time hit king, 17-time All-Star, 1973 MVP. If you list it all out there, and then you also put in there that he received a lifetime ban because he gambled on baseball, including his own team when he's a manager of the Reds, fine. He's still one of the most important figures in the history of baseball. It seems like that is a part of the story you should tell. And maybe that's where the Hall of Fame needs to figure this out. Like, you really can't tell the modern story of baseball without Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens being part of that story. Now, did they use steroids? I 100% believe that they did use performance-enhancing drugs. Do I think they were Hall of Famers prior to using the PEDs? I do, but they did cheat. They did break the rules, and they don't want to admit it, despite all the evidence. That's probably hurting their cause.
And I don't understand why they just don't. Yeah,
you can't tell that story without those two being told. So they need to figure out a way to maybe have included on the plaques the reason some people don't want to vote yes. But
let's say you build a wing.
A wing of shame, like a hall of shame.
In Cooperstown, yeah. And like, what do you do? Like, it's the hall of shame wing. And I'm thinking,
well, you can't do that.
Why?
Well, I think you have to find a way to tell the story with Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Pete Rose. It's mostly all positives for what they meant to baseball.
No, I know, but you could make a popular wing over there. I mean, like a little wing, like the forbidden wing. right?
The PED wing.
Yeah. Make it like the back of Family Video used to be, where all the pornos were. Like put a bunch of like beads draped over the door and a bunch of those big bubble mirrors in the corners, so you could see who's back there in the band wing, in the restricted wing.
Protein shakes. Serve just all kinds of supplements back there.
Have to be at least 18 to get in there, or like make a long upward staircase to get there. So it's like, it's kind of takes something out of the viewer when they go there.
Put in a couple like Circa kiosks where you could go in there and gamble while you're in there in the Hall of Shame wing.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Make it, give it, just really make it kind of seedy, red lighting only.
The Chicago Sky opened the season against the Indiana Fever, and Angel Reese is not interested in following up on things she said last year.
Last year, you made a powerful statement saying the reason people are watching women's basketball is not just because of one player, but because of you too. A year later, do you feel like you're
Next question. Yeah, we'll move on. Thank you. Move on to Zoom. ESPN, please unmute.
Okay,
that is want to talk about that.
Exactly how not to handle that. She needs better PR, or listen to the PR. I understand that they want to move on from last year, and
I do too.
But acknowledge last year, right? Say, I feel like she should say, I didn't handle this right, but I think that's probably a zero chance she'll say that. But just say, last year I felt this way. This year I feel differently. And then
she got caught up in exaggerating her own importance to the league. She does matter to the league, but the Caitlin Clark to Angel Reese important to the league, they're not on the same level, and that's what she thought.
She started to embrace the villain role, right? Like she said, "Hey, I'm a villain." And then she kind of keeps going back and forth, and I think that's the problem, because at some point she wants to be the villain and she wants to be outspoken, and then when you ask her about it, she doesn't want to talk about it. It just doesn't compute.
There's a little Draymond Green there.
Yeah,
like Draymond Green at times completely embraces the "I'm the bad guy, I'm the villain." And then after behaving in ways that no one can support, even his defenders, he comes out and says, I'm not going to be pigeonholed as an angry black man. Well, people aren't calling you an angry black man. They're just calling you a guy that too often behaves badly. He's a great player and an interesting guy to listen to. But you can't have it both ways. And AD's right. She kind of seems like she's in that space right now.
Yeah. And she wants to be, as we all understand, the bad guy role, bad girl role is fun to play when you're winning, and you can point to the scoreboard. When you're not, I imagine that is often a very heavy lift. And I can understand not liking that in those times, but that's the problem. You really you got to go all in or get all out. And she keeps going back and forth.
A quick shout out to the Caitlin Clark Foundation and Musco Lighting for putting these mini pitches into Des Moines schools. They've already put several in and several more are going in. This is just an awesome thing to do. Among other things, just to get kids moving, get them outside exercising. They don't do that as much anymore. But this mini pitch, Andy, we played on one in Oskaloosa where we all realize we're older than we remember. But you can play soccer, you can play basketball and futsal, which is like a smaller version of soccer.
Yeah, it's a version of soccer played on a hard surface on a basketball court. And there you go. That's perfect right there. And it uses a smaller ball to bounce as much. But you can do whatever you want. You can probably take your rollerblades on there and play some hockey, I guess, if you put up boards. But these are schools that need stuff like this, and a school district that doesn't have the money to spend stuff like that, to just put up stuff like this. So it is really good, and it's something that should be supported by the Caitlin Clarks and the Muscos of the world. They have a lot of money and influence, and Musco certainly has connections and know-how. and you can't find, it's like, I don't know that you can find a significant athletic arena, stadium, track that's not lit by Musco now.
In the world.
In the world. Yeah, everywhere. They travel all over the place.
Incredible. And good community partner in Oskaloosa and beyond.
Huge.
Now here's Andy's favorite news story from Fort Wayne.
Former Fort Wayne mayor is getting some national attention. Thousands of people voted online to name the new city-county building in his honor.
But that probably won't happen because of his name. News Channel 15's Don Austin is here to explain.
Well, Heather, Mark, the people voted, and the top pick so far with more than 10,000 votes is the Harry Balls Government Center, named after one of the city's longest-serving mayors. But not everyone's on board with that name.
Andy, how many times did that reporter practice saying that with a straight face? Because props to him. I mean, we tried to talk about this on Sound Off one night, and
we've talked
Harry
about it.
Balls was a heavy lift for me.
Harry Balls, Baals, right? I mean, come on, Mom and Dad named him Harold. But he went with it. He embraced it, and the guy evidently was, self-confident and a pretty can-do guy. He was elected mayor.
Yeah.
That's Harry Balls. Yeah.
He
he's
in
in
had
the club.
to learn self-confidence. He's way beyond you in the club.
Yeah. Harry Balls is way worse than Andy Fales, and
yeah,
it's not often you can say that, but I mean, that is man.
AD, what do you know
Rest
about
in
Harry
peace.
Balls?
No comment.
All right. Confluence is the official beer of Murph and Andy, and this is where the patio tour is headed this Friday at 1:00. AD, did you get my wife Jenny's? She requested a business meeting with you at AKC Marketing.
I did.
Friday
I got
around 1:00.
I got the invite. I accepted, so we're officially on the calendar, and I have my calendar set up so I can accept a lot of different invites. I can have a meeting with a lot of different people. So yeah, hit me up if you need a wiggle out of work.
Yeah, I'm not sure if she can turn the receipt in because I just talked about it here, but it is officially a business meeting.
It is, yes. Okay. She and I will meet about business.
All right, let's get some more on a Wednesday.
But wait, there's more from Either Or Eatery and Patio.
Speaking of patios, Either Or has the best one for you and your family. No doubt about that. You'll see kids playing there all the time and parents chilling out with some nice beers and great food. Check it out. It's at 6222 Grand Avenue in Des Moines. So yesterday, and we missed it because we didn't have a show, was World Cocktail Day.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the day celebrates, the reason they hold it on May 13th is that it celebrates the first definition of a cocktail appearing in print for the first time, back May 13th, 1806. So what is a cocktail? Well, as Harry Croswell, editor at the Balance and Columbian Repository, name that rolls off the tongue, as he saw it, a cocktail is a stimulating liquor composed of spirits of any kind, sugar, water, and bitters.
It's very specific.
Basically an old-fashioned is exactly what that is. That was considered like the original cocktail. The other definition of a cocktail relates to gingering a horse. You know what gingering a horse, how you ginger a horse?
I feel like you stick a finger in its ass.
No, you take a piece of peeled ginger and you shove it up its ass. And it apparently, gives them a whoosh.
Jeez. What did a horse do to deserve this? Horses shouldn't be subjected to that. Would you like ginger up your ass?
No, I think that's definitely frowned upon. But it's when they had like an older horse, but they want him to make him still look young and full of life, and so they would ginger him.
God,
and they would give him that would give him a cocktail. His tail would cock up like that, as you can see from that horse right there.
You think that horse has been gingered?
that horse really looks gingered to me. I mean, he's
I don't want to be gingered.
He's displaying all the signs. The former Immaculate Conception Church and Rectory in St. Louis closed back in 2005. It was put up for sale in February for $1.8 million. Beautiful church there in St. Louis, nice just church. Off Highway 44, Interstate 44. but no one has had much interest. Again, it's this giant old Catholic church now empty, and then the rectory where the priests live behind it. It's a lot of property for the money, $1.8 million, but nobody was interested. But today it is the talk of St. Louis because it turns out the Immaculate Conception Church and Rectory, are the first home and workplace of Father Robert Prevost, a.k.a. Pope Leo XIV. He lived in the rectory at the start of his journey into the priesthood in 1977 and 78. Property is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. So people stopping by all these places now. His childhood home, or his birthplace, basically. He's not old enough to be called a birthplace. That's like a George Washington thing, right?
Maybe.
People, I don't think they say that.
It is funny though, because this guy, Father Bob, lived his whole life just as a normal dude, going to World Series games, eating hot dogs, and now everything he did, in retrospect, becomes important. Every place he went is a holy place. It's got to be surreal for him more than anything.
I think his childhood home in Chicago or outside of Chicago.
Yeah, outside.
Is on the market as well. It's just a little house, but apparently it's come up in value.
One of the things that happens in Europe quite a bit these days is somebody will buy one of those old churches like that and turn it into a pub or a restaurant or both. Yeah. And those are kind of cool and popular when you can go in a place that's like that, although that is kind of odd to turn a church into a tavern.
I think they do that here too. I mean, whatever you want. And a lot of those churches, I mean, they really were painstakingly built by hand, block by block, huge line. That church was probably, God, I can't even imagine how expensive that would be to recreate that now. From the bowels of Instagram, we bring you this proof that it's not always good to be Batman.
Sorry, here, let me do that again.
Man. Oh, jeez.
Doug Eklund will like the sound of this over at Cellular Advantage. A skydiver named Hatton Smith accidentally dropped his iPhone from 14,000 feet while jumping out of a plane in South Carolina. Thinking he was gone for good, he was shocked to find it later completely undamaged.
Come on.
After landing, he used the Find My iPhone app, tracked it to a spot near a rural road about a quarter of a mile from the landing zone, picked that sucker up, and it worked like a charm. Wow.
Did it land in a bale of hay or something? What? Did you know where it landed?
I think it just landed on the ground.
Jeez.
That's incredible, though. That's a promo for the iPhone. I imagine he had some sort of protective case on that, but he needs to be contacting those people right away.
Immediately,
too.
yeah.
Unbelievable. Reverend Ray Green says, maybe it landed in a bunch of marijuana.
There's nothing that the Reverend Ray can't tie to marijuana.
He can tie it all there. Well, it's time now for Tell Me Something.
Tell me something good.
Shaka Khan. A man in Warren County, New Jersey, is being credited with making karma sound pretty real. He stopped at a Quick Mart to buy a drink late last month and found $100 on the fountain drink counter. He turned it into management.
Wow.
Didn't just pocket it. Management contacted a person who had just been in the store and had dropped the money accidentally. Then the man who'd found the money went to the counter and purchased 3 Power 20X tickets, lottery tickets, with one of the scratch-offs containing the $1 million prize.
Wow.
While visiting the New Jersey Lottery's offices to claim the prize, the player called the whole scenario a test from God.
Jeez.
He did the right thing.
He did.
Not sure if that's why he won or not, or I wonder if maybe like it took him a little bit of time and to go tell management, give him the money.
And the previous
and in the meantime, somebody else came in and bought the tickets ahead of him that he would have bought and that were the losers, but he got the winner instead? Maybe something like that?
How'd they find the guy that was ahead of him that dropped the $100 bill because he didn't pay with a credit card, I would assume? Maybe they knew him.
I think they knew who it was or something,
Yeah.
and they were like, hey, you emptied your pockets or something. But, I mean, good for that person to go ahead and say, yeah, that is my $100 that somebody found there. Yeah, it's not somebody else's. That was mine. I did drop it. From Realtor.com, the weirdest street names in America.
All right.
These are real. You can look them up. In Conway, Arkansas, you'll find Toad Suck Road. It's actually a popular name for stuff around Conway, Arkansas. It's also Toad Suck Lane and Toad Suck Park. In Fanny, Arkansas, you will find Far From Poopin' Road. All one word, Far From Poopin'.
All of these signs have selfies.
I'm sure. In Las Vegas, there's Windy Butte Way, but of course it looks like Windy Butt.
You almost said lost wages like Jim Brinson.
Lost wages.
Oh, lost wages.
Lost wages, Nevada.
I should call it lost wages.
West Simsbury, Connecticut is home to Tootin Hill Road. Booger Hollow Road is a popular choice, as 6 states have one. Booger Hollow Road's in Georgia, Arkansas, Alabama, California, Louisiana, and my home state of Missouri. Zizix Road in Zizix, California. That's spelled Z-Z-Y-Z-X. Name was made up by a guy named Curtis House Springer back in 1944 when he proclaimed it to be the last word alphabetically in the English language. That's what he was going for. Have It Your Way, Have It Your Way is in Eagle Mountain, Utah. Traverse City, Michigan has Psychopath.
Stay off that.
Houston, Texas has not only My Way, but also Which Way, Right Way, That Way, Straight Way, and Same Way.
And I want it that way.
We will finish with this. A 35-year-old man diagnosed with avoidant restrictive food intake disorder, or ARFID, claims that the mere thought of eating fruits, vegetables, eggs, or meat is enough to make him sick. So calling Thomas Sheridan a picky eater is an understatement. He relies on a very this will make Cade feel better. He relies on a very strict diet daily that usually consists of 2 loaves of white bread, 3 bowls of Shreddies cereal, lots
shredded
of
wheat,
Haribo sweets. Haribo is the one that makes the really good gummy bears. Ooh. Eats a bunch of gummy bears, gummy worms. He has never, ever tasted fruits and vegetables. The mere thought of it makes him like puke. He pukes up all the gummy bears and the Shreddies. Because of his bland diet, he needs to take protein and vitamin supplements, but only those that have a taste profile that he can stand.
Jeez.
Man, oh man. All right. Could always be worse. That's your more, everybody.
Grimaldi's fan photos, send them to Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com. Grimaldi's coal-fired brick oven pizza. We were in Prairie Trail and Ankeny for the start of the patio tour this past Friday. AD, what do we have here?
Yeah, this is Sonia and her mom. They went to Principal Park over the weekend to catch the Hawkeyes and Oregon State. Said it was a great day, beautiful weather. The only bad part was Oregon State won that game on Saturday.
We will.
Looks like they were able to find a seat.
Yeah, and a big bush light. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Mr. Movie.
It's time to go to the movies with Mr. Movie, Mike Woody, presented by P&P Small Engines.
There he is. Hi, Mr. Movie.
Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Kind of. Yeah, you're a little fuzzy. Yeah.
What is that sitting behind him? It's making him look like he's got Benjamin Franklin hair. What is going on?
What is going on with Mr. Movie?
That's the phone.
Are you sitting? Oh, you're sitting in a movie
He's
theater.
superimposed.
Okay, that's superimposed
Yeah.
over a movie theater. Okay.
Obviously not super, but
No,
just
Imposed.
it's
Yeah.
you're imposing on a movie theater.
Out of the box
AD
topic this week.
just say AD and I are working on this, so don't worry.
You're working on losing all your hair.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. You look kind of crazy.
Yeah, you look
All
like
right,
you're staring
so-
through one of those things at the amusement park.
It does look like
Yeah.
it. Out of the
Yeah.
box.
All right.
This is brought on by Cade, who said in a group chat this week, he's like, I finally watched A Clockwork Orange. I understand why it's so revered, but I don't ever want to watch it again. So great movie. Once is enough. That is the subject here. And for those in the comments, offer up your choice. You know, Andy, you and I were talking about this last night with Erin Kiernan, and she was running movies through her mind, trying to think of the perfect one. A movie that you appreciate was really good, but you don't think you can sit through it again. I had what I think is probably a choice of many people who saw it, and it did win Best Picture, $1 Million Baby. Clint Eastwood, Hilary Swank. It wins Best Picture. Morgan Freeman is great in this. And about an hour into the movie, I'm thinking, I love this movie. This is great.
Can't wait to see it again.
Yeah, it's everybody at their best. And then it takes such a depressing turn that, oh gosh. Yeah, I suppose enough years have gone by for a spoiler.
She hits her head on a stool, or her opponent shoves her and she falls down and breaks her neck in the ring, right? Hits her head on a stool.
Can't find a reason to go on living. So what doesn't she try? Does she successfully bite half her tongue off? I think. Mike?
Ooh, I don't remember
that part.
I think she does. And then
why'd she do that?
She just biting down on it. I don't. And then she wants out. And
none of us remember because we only saw the movie once 20 years ago.
I did watch the whole thing, and it was a very good movie. And then that happens, and you're like, and you're not left with any reprieve at the end.
No, he's talked into supporting her on her decision. Is
he the one that euthanizes her?
Again, I don't remember because I
don't remember either.
Well, one of us needs to go back and watch it again.
AD, you're going to need to watch this again and report back because I'm not watching it again. I am not doing it. All right, Andy, what do you have? Oh, no. Mr. Movie has gone back to
he's
sounding like he's in Close Encounters.
He's with us again, I think. Yeah, there we go. Okay, all right. So this one, we've done this subject, and there are some admittedly really good movies, and you can tell that they're a good movie. It's not just because some critic told you it was a good movie. You watch it, you're like, that's a good movie, but you don't want to see it again. And the one that I'm picking right now is Room. And as I'm watching that, I think Mr. Movie, what's her last name? Brie Larson.
Brie Larson. Yep.
It sounded like Larson, something
Yep.
like that. Yeah. She's a woman who was kidnapped by some psychopath and, locked in a shed in his backyard, and he rapes her. She has their kid and raises the kid in the shed. And she's in there for a decade, and they break out, and it is a really well done movie, but it's so disturbing. Yeah. It stays with you. You think about it. I mean, I was seeing this movie in my dreams for days afterwards.
And it goes against conventional happy ending wisdom. Whereas when they do break out, everything is not easy and solved and happy. They're a mess, as one would be. They're traumatized. They have PTSD.
Yeah.
So
there's no, there are all kinds of movies that we can think of that have a horrible turn of events in them, but we end up wanting to see them again because there's something that happens later in the movie that gives you hope, but these don't.
Mr. Movie, what's your choice?
You know, I've got choices because I'm going to pick on a series, which is probably one of the most technically accomplished series. It's a beautiful film to watch. It's done by an award-winning director, but I'm going to choose any movie that has in its title the word Avatar. It's just,
yeah. I appreciate that you're going in a different direction here. Instead of just depressing, you're going with, I appreciate this, but I can't sit through 3 hours again.
Yeah, I mean, I think there've been 3, and there's another one coming this year.
Well,
Avatar: Fire and Ash. So
I can remember watching.
We don't see him again.
All right, AD, what do you have for a movie Once is Good?
Yeah, I went with Manchester by the Sea, which is such a well-acted movie. Casey Affleck wins Best Actor for this. It won Best Screenplay at the Oscars as well. It's a really, really well-made, well-acted movie that's just devastatingly sad. And like, there's a couple of scenes like the one here with Casey Affleck and Michelle Williams that I don't ever want to watch again. I have nightmares about what he went through. And again, I really, really enjoyed the movie, except the horrible part of it.
That's a good choice.
It's a really good choice. I've made it through this movie twice. I've made it through a second sitting of this movie. And I think what kind of kept me going is that the second time around, I mean, you're prepared.
Yeah.
But you can just sort of watch Casey Affleck and Michelle Williams cook. I mean, they are so good in this movie. And it really is it's a really well done movie. And it came out, was this right in the middle of COVID? This came out right at the beginning of COVID. This came out. So there wasn't a lot else going on.
We got our first look. Christian Bale as Al Davis and Nicolas Cage as John Madden in the upcoming movie Madden. And I can't see Christian Bale in this photo.
Okay, I can't unsee Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage has such a distinct look. They've put the weight on him because he's not a heavy guy.
No.
But he's such a good actor, he can probably pull this off. I don't see Christian Bale in this.
Yeah.
I can't find his face in there. Yeah, the hair, the sunglasses.
Christian Bale is a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
He's great. And I bet he owns this. What's really weird is like watching Ford versus Ferrari and see Christian Bale in his normal accent, which for the longest time, I didn't have any idea that he was British. I thought he was American. I thought he talked like Batman, or the dude on American Psycho. I mean, it was like, whoa, he's English.
Yeah.
Same with like Tom Hardy, same thing.
So this one of the things that's interesting about Nicolas Cage, who I think is 60, we established, but John Madden retired from coaching at 42 and never went back again. So there will be a little bit of an age stretch there, but I'm in to watch this. Mr. Movie, let's catch up with some reviews here if we can. The number one movie in America is Thunderbolts. What did you think of Thunderbolts?
You know what? Thunderbolts is the first Marvel movie of the summer, and this is a rag group of anti-heroes, if you will, and it's just I don't know. It didn't click for me. Some good stuff in the first half of it, but this is a strange movie. It takes a twist at the end, and it gets really dark. But it's dark. It's a message, and I'm not going to play it here because people are going to see it, will kind of feel it. But I think it's trying to explain to an extent the darkness that the younger generations are feeling right now with the suicides and all of that stuff. It kind of explains that, or tries to show how that might have occurred. Ooh. And so I'm leaving the theater going, wow, I wasn't expecting thought-provoking steps in the movie, but I love the ending. The first part was good. Okay.
So the grade for Thunderbolts?
It's a B plus, just because of the end.
Okay.
Yep.
The Surfer with Nicolas Cage. We're excited to get your feedback on Cage just taking on some guys that don't want him on their beach.
You know, he plays a dad who's going back. He grew up and he surfed this beach, and he wants to take his son to this beach so they can have a moment together surfing. And there's some bad guys in the town who have essentially taken over the beach, and everybody that lives in the town does whatever these guys tell them. This movie was really, I saw it at the Fleur, and it was all I could do to stay in my last half hour. I'm like, it's an F.
It's an F. All right. Again, we're struggling with Mr. Movie's reception here, but we're going to try to get through this. And then, as God is my witness, we'll have this fixed by next week if we have to put up our own satellite. Juliet and Romeo. What about this, Mr. Movie?
This is a charming movie. It's a fun movie. It's been on this classic story, and Sue and I liked it. Was cousin. Come on,
AD, we're gonna have to pull the plug on this. Yeah. We just can't hear him. Unfortunately,
and I feel bad. He's frustrated. He's trying to get. What is going on with that? It wasn't this bad.
We need to find out what Wi-Fi this is, so we never get it.
Is there a mouse chewing on a cord in his house or something?
I don't know what's going on. Let me finish his grade there. So he B for Juliet and Romeo, and he recommended Nana's, which is Vince Vaughn, the movie where all the grandmothers are hired
this is on
to
streaming,
cook the Italian food.
I've seen this movie Netflix. Yeah,
it looks good.
It does. I need to
Susan
see this.
Sarandon and others. B plus for that. So check that out. Retired grandmothers, based on a true story. And Mr. Movie wanted to give a shout out to Carter, who's a big Murph and Andy show fan. So shout out Carter. Sorry, Mr. Movie can't do it himself. And Mission Impossible will premiere at, I think that's the Palms and IMAX. That'll be May 22nd. So all that coming up. We do apologize. We'll get this problem fixed. I know it's frustrating to watch that. Mr. Movie presented by P&P Small Engines.
Not as frustrating as it is to live it. He and I connected before the show. It was like all good. Yeah. Sorry.
Is it because we have more people connected or what's going? I don't know.
I don't know. That's a question for somebody smarter than me.
Oh, we're all sitting here in high definition.
Yeah.
Good. Good as we can look.
Does he have a fiber connection? I do. You've got fiber at your house now, right, Murph?
Yeah, I'm hardwired.
Well, but you got the fiber internet, right? When you're up in your neighborhood upgraded. Yeah, you're all good. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but yeah, we apologize.
Yeah, sorry about that. We will keep working on it. Let's get to throwdowns here. Quick round. I know Andy's got a shoot he needs to get to.
Throwdowns. It's Throwdowns. Backed by Heartland Tire and Auto.
We'll throw it down. Powered by Heartland Tire and Auto, an authorized dealer of both Firestone and Bridgestone tires. Andy, a year ago, we were all excited to see Caitlin Clark begin her professional career, but I, like many others, had never really paid close attention to the WNBA. The 2025 season starts Friday. Are you more or less excited for the WNBA season than you were a year ago?
I'm a different kind of excited, but I would say I'm about at the same level. I genuinely was entertained watching her games last year. I didn't feel the same about other games where she wasn't involved, wasn't close. But I would see some of those games and I would recognize players. I mean, it was amazing how much my interest in just one or maybe two players kind of spread out to the league in general. I'm looking forward to this season. It's a good time of the year to have it. Gives us something in the off season. And she had some growing pains when she first got there last year, and I think she's past those. So I think she could have an incredible year this year, and I want to see it.
Yeah, I'm a different kind of excited too. But last year I was concerned because I was just as a person who wanted to see her succeed. there was so much backlash, and in some cases, just straight hate. And there were so many people who wanted her to fail, and it made me have secondhand discomfort just wanting to see her do well. And then as the season went on, it became apparent, hey, she actually is as good as the hype, and she ends up making first team all WNBA, should have been the unanimous rookie of the year. And we all knew she needed a rest, and we know she needed more weight and more muscle, and she's done those things. And I think now the excitement with this better team and a better coach is how good can she be? Mm-hmm. How good can the Fever be? So it's a different kind of excitement, but more of a relaxed one. I already know she's as good as advertised.
Murph, Circus Sports said Iowa's regular season win total at 7.5. We'll focus just on the Hawkeyes right now without deep diving into each game. If you had to bet a week's pay right now, you take the over or the under?
I'd take the over, because even with a increasingly, the schedule's more difficult this season, no doubt about it. But Iowa to 8 wins or more the past decade is one of the biggest locks in all of college football. I know the schedule's harder, but I'd still take the over.
Yeah, right. I mean, you've just got that instinct just hammered into your brain at this point. I mean, Iowa at 7.5, you would take the over without looking at the schedule.
Right.
Yeah, and we know that this is going to be a really interesting schedule, and everybody's excited about that. But I just feel like I would be going against every instinct I've got to pick them under at 7.5.
All right, Andy, let's say you owe somebody an odd amount of money. We'll say $23.15. You owe that to me, and I'm like, hey, just Venmo me.
Yeah.
How much you Venmoing me?
That's a good question, because I just saw this the other day. We owed somebody money, and Kahala and I both tried to pay her at the same time. I paid her the exact amount that was owed, and she rounded it up to the nearest dollar. But it was like $242.76. And so that's what I paid her. Yeah. I don't think she got a lot extra out of that 24 cents that Kahala gave her, but it did make it just looks stupid that I gave her to the exact penny. But hey, we got to do something with all these pennies. They're sitting in my couch.
It's a good question, because I don't have Venmo, but in Apple, like I don't like it being in the cents or the 12 cents or 17 seconds. I'd like it to be a round number. I would think that Venmo's kind of similar to that. But I am sending the exact amount if it's a bill. If it's like one of our kids, I might send.
If you're
more.
buying something from someone, I'll give them the exact amount.
If it's a business transaction, exact amount.
Right.
All right, that's Throwdowns.
Now it's time for the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day. We call it the AD Squared.
Yeah, it's powered by Game Day Men's Health. You can find them in Ankeny, West Des Moines, North Liberty if you're on the eastern side of the state. Wherever you are, there's a game day near you. I go to the one in Ankeny. I'll go there tomorrow for my weekly testosterone boost. A couple of months ago, Andy went to a local Polk County iClubs event and caught up with Gary Dolphin and asked about our good friend, Chris Hassel.
Dolph, what do you think of Chris Hassel's impressions of you?
Which one? I love his hair. I love that impression.
Does he have the hair?
Yeah, I don't know how he grows it so quick and then gets rid of it, but the guy who can argue with greatness. I mean, he's one of the top 10. There's no doubt about it. And, do I love him like a brother? No, but he's a good guy.
That was just a couple of weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It's always good to see Dolph.
It is. Quickie pool results presented by WCI Pools and Spas.
Should the NFL go to a draft lottery for the worst teams to discourage tanking? 66% say no. They're happy with the system they've got now. Worst team gets the best pick. 30, well, if I'm going to round up there, I got to round down here. 34% say yes, they should do that.
Thank you for being part of Murph and Andy here on Iowa Everywhere. We appreciate it. Our next stop will be the patio tour. Maybe that's what we need to do with Mr. Movie. Just bring him to each patio until we figure out the Wi-Fi problem. If you get a chance, please like and subscribe. Go by the merch store. Visit with Andrew. Don't forget to make a business appointment with Andrew at AKC Marketing coming up Friday. That meeting will take place over at Confluence anytime after noon, and you probably... I think AD, is it like a 4 or 5 hour meeting? How long is your presentation?
Like that. Yeah. Okay. Whenever your office closes.
Okay, whenever your office closes, you can close the meeting. We're back Friday. We'll be at Confluence. We hope you're there too.